information leaked in the breach to freeze their credit so scammers can't open accounts in their name. Authorities in Michigan are reporting another aerial device has been shot down over the state, the fourth in a series of suspicious objects. AP correspondent Jackie Quinn has this.
Michigan Congresswoman Alyssa Slotkin says an unidentified object was shot down over Lake Huron after authorities restricted airspace and military jets were scrambled. It follows the shoot down of another flying object over Alaska Friday and another Saturday over the Yukon in Canada, described by Prime Minister Justin Trudeau on CTV.
Threat to civilian aircraft. So I gave the order to take it down.
Both are believed to be balloons, according to Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, who was briefed over the weekend.
They believe they were.
He tells ABC's This Week with George Stephanopoulos, intelligence analysts are reviewing what was recovered from the Chinese surveillance balloon shot down the weekend before off the coast of South Carolina. I'm Jackie Quinn.
WSGW News Time 9:10. I'm Mike Percha.
Here's your WSGW weatherology forecast. Mostly sunny skies today, a high near 43. Tonight, mostly clear, low around 30. Tuesday, mostly sunny, high near 51. Rain overnight Tuesday night, low around 45. Rain continues into Wednesday, high near 54. Wednesday night, mostly cloudy, low around 37. Rain and snow chances on Thursday, high near 47. Rain and snow chances continue overnight Thursday night, low around 20. A slight chance of snow on Friday. I'm meteorologist Michael Cotter with the WSGW weatherology forecast. Right now, it's 33 degrees.
Now, the only local radio talk show offering you the chance to ask your questions and express your opinions. From around your block to around the world, The Art Lewis Show is on 100.5 and 790 WSGW and online, WSGW.com. The Art Lewis Show is presented by Westside Decorating Center.
Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Art Lewis Show. I am Kareem Bowen, sitting in the state of Art Lewis. I am in the studio today with producer John B. That's my nickname that I've given for John. He produces for me in other shows. How you doing this morning, John?
Hello. Doing well.
All right. Well, it is post-Super Bowl party, and I know you're probably hungover from all of the fun that you had during Super Bowl weekend, right?
So much fun. Yeah.
In fact, John, we were talking before the show. You said that you didn't even watch the game.
No, not a football person. My family's not football people, so we sat at home and just relaxed.
How in the world can you be American football? Is like apple pie. It is the soul of America. Well, since I know that you're not a sports person, we brought someone in today who is a sports person. Because I was here for everything. I watched everything. And for those who were watching the games on last night, it was a spectacular event. I'm not just saying that because the team that I wanted to win actually was victorious, but I'm saying that because it was a great game between two teams that really put on what I think was a really good show. Not a bad sign of defense, even though the game was high scoring, but it was a good game. And I want to bring in our guest. I want to bring him in so that we can get talking about some of these things. And that is none other than my guy, Mark Dotson, down in Lansing, Michigan. Mark, how are you doing? Attorney Dotson, excuse me. And we don't hear from
here I am. I thought you.
Here you go.
Hey,
all right.
Hey, I'm good, man. How are you?
How you doing? How are you surviving this post Super Bowl Monday?
I'm doing great because I got your girl here with me and she working at home. So we started Valentine's Day early, so I'm straight.
We gonna get to Valentine's Day. So Mark is, for those of you who are listening, he's been a guest of ours before. He is an attorney, a professor actually at Cooley Law School, but he is an avid sports fan, a lover and purveyor of sports. And when I was thinking about being on the show today and who did I want to talk with, I was interested in him because I think he often provides some very interesting perspectives. So, Mark, first of all, let's just out the gate. What were your thoughts about Super Bowl Sunday on yesterday, Chiefs and the Eagles?
Going into the game, I had several people ask me, who you got? And my response was, I don't care who wins this game. I'm expecting this is going to be a really good game. Turn out to be a really good game, and I could live with either one of these teams winning. Now, if you're asking me who I thought would win, probably Philly because of their defense, but Mahomes shattered that altogether. I saw him in the first half. I was wondering whether or not he was healthy, and I still want to hear him speak to that. He's a bad dude. Andy Reid. Now the question I have still remains: who gets credit for that offense? I know Andy tried to throw Bieniemy in the mix when he was being interviewed after the game, but people still want to think that Andy Reid is the one calling the shots there.
What are your
Whoever,
thoughts? What do you think?
I don't know. If we say true to the offensive coordinator label, then it's Bieniemy.
Well, I don't know who gets credit, but there's a lot of it to go around in terms of their performance on yesterday. I was really 21 of 27 passes. This is what Mahomes did on yesterday. 21 of 27 passing, 44 rushing yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. And the crazy thing about it is this. We're talking about Mahomes because his team was victorious, but the reality is Hurts, he played an amazing game. Jalen Hurts played an amazing game, and if his team had won, he would have been the MVP of the Super Bowl championship. You like me like yourself. I did not have I didn't really care. These were not my teams. I was not a diehard Chiefs or Eagles team player or fan or any of those things. But I really did. I was excited because for the first time, history was being made. Not only did we have the Kelsey brothers that were playing against each other in the NFL, 2 brothers playing on opposite sides of the team, but we also showed 2 African-American, 2 black men playing the role of quarterback against each other in a Super Bowl championship game. I thought that was amazing. What were your thoughts about that, Mark? That little piece of history. So I felt like we were going to win either way.
Absolutely, man. It was. I kind of respect Dan Orlovsky. I don't know if you listen to him on ESPN, but
yeah.
And there may have been another one of the hosts at one time who said this. Might have been Dan, but they said this is going to change how people draft for the position going forward. You got
in what way? What was he saying?
Well, I think specifically when it comes to Hurts, they're going to get these dual threat guys, and they're not going to be afraid of going with these dual threat guys, as maybe they had in the past. I think that was his point.
Okay.
Mahomes is more of a traditional guy. He's just a remarkable talent. But they're talking about these guys coming out, and maybe these pro teams who had been hesitant maybe to go after these guys because they were concerned about injury will probably be more willing to see this dual threat capability and success going forward.
It's really kind of interesting because Mahomes he's kind of like, someone said that one of the sportscasters was saying that he is the LeBron James of football. Not LeBron James, but Michael Jordan of football. He is the guy. I mean, they're talking about him being one of the greatest players in that position. And I'm like, no offense, Mr. Brady, who just left the field, but they were saying how he has been so amazing in how he executes and operates in that position. Yesterday, I'm going to tell you, the thing that gets me is I love movies. The story Rudy Desautels, Notre Dame. I love the story when the hero has the opposition that hits. He gets, sprained ankle out when Michigan State won the national championship. I do have to inflect that since we got Michigan folks on the line here, Mark. But when they won the national championship, you remember Mateen Cleaves went down in the 4th quarter, and it was a tie game, and they hopped off. Is he going to come back? I love seeing games where the star player, the individual who's the key to the team, has that moment where he's got to dig deep. And then once he digs deep, he comes back, and you could see Mahomes like grimacing in pain at one point. And I was concerned, like, how does this change the trajectory of this game? but like a true hero and like superstars do, man, they dig deep and come out, and he was able to pull out the victory. So I think it was an amazing feat. I love those kinds of stories, man. I want to continue in this conversation, but I want to get to, we're going to take a break in just a little bit, but I want to talk a little bit about some of the other things. If refs were a factor, because it was a very controversial call, can we go ahead and take a break right now? We'll take a break and we'll come back. We're going to talk, were refs a real issue in this, or did they do a great job? We're going to take a break. We'll be back with more of the Art Lewis Show.
Your home is your haven, and energy-efficient window treatments can make it feel even more comfortable throughout the year. Hi, this is Mary Ann from Warden Interiors in Frankenmuth. Save big with rebates on qualifying purchases of energy-efficient shades from Hunter Douglas that can help keep your home cool in the summer and warm during winter, all while helping you save on energy consumption during the Hunter Douglas Energy Smart Style Savings Event. Vignette Modern Roman shades offer contemporary glamour with luxurious fabrics, while Sonnet Cellular Roller shades beautifully diffuse light to create a soft glow. Duet Honeycomb shades are the industry's leading energy-efficient window treatments. They feature a special cellular design that traps air to keep your home insulated from outdoor temperatures. Hunter Douglas window treatments can help you save on energy costs in every season. Don't wait to shop the Hunter Douglas Energy Smart Style Savings Event now through April 10th. Warden Interiors in Frankenmuth, celebrating over 60 years in business. We'll help you bring it all together.
Superior Insurance Group, Next Door Trader, and MDL Companies bring to you the second annual Rat Pack Gala. We invite you Saturday, February 18th to get your tux and petticoats out for the classiest event of the year. Step back in time with the Summit Tribute Group, Deke's Paradise Casino, a 17-piece orchestra, and the Rat Pack. Enjoy an evening out with dinner, casino, and a show. This formal fundraiser will be one to remember. Entire ticket proceeds to benefit Leaders for America that focus on strengthening the leadership culture across the nation. Leaders for America will be investing in the young people in Bay County, creating a culture of personal and community growth. Dance the night away with Marilyn Monroe to the sounds of Sinatra, Martin, and Davis. Cash bar, casino, and dinner from 6 p.m. till 8 p.m., followed by the big show from 8 p.m. till 10:30 p.m. Join us Saturday, February 18th for good food, great entertainment, and most important, a good cause. Visit theratpackgala.live for your tickets today.
I'm Liz Clayman, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Stock futures are little changed as investors wait for tomorrow's update on inflation, the consumer price index for January. Restaurant chain Denny's reports earnings after the Wall Street close today. Nissan and Renault will be making electric cars in India. The two companies are investing about $600 million in India to produce 6 new models. 2 of them will be electric. Truck maker Nikola is working on a hydrogen fuel network. The Wall Street Journal says Nikola's goal is to have enough fuel to service 7,500 heavy-duty trucks by 2026. It plans to brand its filling stations under the name Hyla. Unlike battery electric vehicles, which have various options for charging, Nikola's trucks need hydrogen fueling stations. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Ginny Cosola, invested in you.
It's Jesse Kelly here. I can't afford to lose 30% of my 401k or IRA again, and I'm assuming you can't either. Call Oxford Gold. Securing your IRA or 401k with real gold and silver is a portfolio protection plan, and Oxford Gold has made it easy as 1, 2, 3. One app, one call, and you pick your precious metals. That's it. You now own precious metals. Call Oxford Gold today to learn more about the 1, 2, 3 protection plan. 833-404-GOLD, 833-404-GOLD.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
How far will the left go to win 2024? Will they send out more stimulus checks, pass more student loan bailouts, or give away trillions more to left-wing groups? The simple truth is they don't care if your retirement is eroded down to a fraction of its value. They just want to win. Hi, Stephen K. Bannon. I want to encourage you to diversify your 401k or IRA out of paper assets and into a physical gold IRA. And the only company I recommend for gold IRAs is conservative-owned Birch Gold Group. To learn more, text the word safeguard to 989898 to get their free info kit on gold IRAs. Do this now before Democrats have a chance to legislate away your life savings. Get your free info kit on gold IRAs by texting HEDGE to the number 989898. There's nothing to buy and no obligation at all. So use your agency. Take action now. Text the word HEDGE to the number 989898.
On the next Markley Van Camp and Robin show,
you know what we do, try to make sense of it all and have some fun at the same time.
Emphasis on having fun. Then why do you yell so much?
I don't know why.
Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins. Weekdays at noon on 100.5 and 790. News Radio WSGW.
This is Kareem, and we're back with more of the Art Lewis Show. I have my guest with me, attorney Mark Dotson. Mark, before the break, we were talking about the Super Bowl, and I think everyone is probably talking about it. I was up this morning at 5 a.m., and that was all they were talking about on the TV. But I was asking the question, based upon your opinion, I know you love football. Did you feel that the refs were a part, or how has, I know that one play in particular, the holding call near the end of the game, which kind of positioned the field goal kick. Did you think that played a part in the outcome of the game?
Yeah, it was the right call. I don't know if you saw the comment from Bradley, the defender for Philadelphia. He said he held it.
Yeah, he said it was a holding call.
It was a holding call. So you got to make the call, and you can't be in a situation where you say, well, based on the time of the game, I'm gonna swallow my whistle. No, you can't do that. You can't.
And not only that, but you can't say, "Oh, this is NFL. I'm going to let him play." It's a hold. Most people saw the push on the back, and they missed the part where he was actually holding on to his jersey.
Yeah.
And so I thought I thought the game was officiated well. Where did you watch the game? Did you stay at home, or did you have a Super Bowl celebration?
I stayed at home and had a Super Bowl celebration. Watched it with Laura.
For those of you listening, attorney Laura Dotson happens to be his wife. Laura used to be my boss back in the day, working down in Lansing. She is now doing amazing things. What is Laura doing these days?
Working for the Department of Transportation.
She is now working for the transportation. So as you look at all those roads and all the issues that we're having, you make sure you single and blame her. But I want to.
Hey man, you said something early in the first half. You talking about the GOAT? Who'd you call GOAT?
I didn't use the term GOAT. What I said was there was one sportcaster that was watching this morning on one of the morning shows, and he referred to Mahomes as the Michael Jordan of football.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, and so he was just saying that he has been executing at such a high level that by the end of his career that they think that he will have surpassed what Brady was able to accomplish. And I think two Super Bowls in 4 years, right around that 24, 25-year-old mark, I think that's a pretty great achievement for that young man.
Yeah, he's good. He's good. But you mentioned LeBron. Now, help me out.
LeBron was a slip of the tongue. I really meant Jordan. And
all right, okay.
We don't even want to get into LeBron James conversation now because I'm still feeling some kind of way. You know that my namesake is Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and he, which I think by default, he came through. He had the three-pointer. He came out of school when he was 10 years old playing in the NBA. So he is now the leading scorer according to I think they should have two classes of what that looks like in terms of sports. They should have before the three-pointer and after the three-pointer, and I think that he should hold that title for since the three-pointer and being able to come out of school when you're 8 years old to play football is now a thing. So, but that's a whole nother conversation. That's where LeBron came in. Okay, but I wanted to talk about the celebration of Blackness. One of the issues with the NFL, and it's kind of interesting, is that it was during the Black Lives Matter movement in its height during 2020 and all of the stuff that was going on then. Actually, 2019, it started even before then with Kaepernick and taking a knee, and they were trying to get entertainers to perform at Super Bowl halftime. And I think Rihanna was one of the main ones that came in and said she could not stand up and perform. with the injustices that were taking place with Kaepernick and what the offices and the league stood for. Well, they came back and they asked her again. We know Jay-Z is now in there kind of like pulling the strings in terms of entertainment. But we came out with some really good things. We'll get to Rihanna in a minute, but I want to talk about the people that were before. Cheryl Lee Ralph. For those of you who don't know Cheryl Lee Ralph, she was a part of the original Dreamgirls cast that made that play iconic. She's done a series of television shows and movies in really Black theater and Black populations communities. She is now on what's the name of the Abbott Elementary. She has received, I think, a Tony for her work on Abbott Elementary, which is a phenomenal. Mark, have you ever watched Abbott Elementary?
I gave one episode.
Only one?
Yep.
What were your thoughts?
I teach. I teach. It's kind of like the lawyer shows, How to Get Away with Murder and anything else. It's hard for me to get into fiction.
Really?
So, yeah. When it comes to, well, hold on. It might not all be fiction.
Deep cerebral kinds, deep thoughts. This.
Yeah. I don't get entertained by some of the stuff that some others might, because they're unfamiliar with it. All right. It'd be like you know the agent game. You know the athlete game.
You're right.
It'd be like somebody coming up with I don't want to see Jerry Maguire, but a television show where they're talking about.
It was called The Game. They did
The Game.
Yeah, The Game.
And that was straight up. That was funny, entertaining. But when it came to the agent stuff and the real life stuff, you had to kind of look at that and say, well, maybe you didn't. I don't know.
Well, my take on that was when I saw The Game, and we're going somewhere completely, but when I saw The Game, I thought this was a really good portrayal of what happens in professional sports with athletes and their managers and things of that nature. Of course, there's always, they're adding for artistic value and for the crowd's response. But I thought it was a pretty real depiction, and it was entertaining for me. For the Tasha Mack, who was one of the leads in that, is forever cemented in my mind. I can't wait till they come back to TV.
Oh yeah, that was on many levels. I enjoyed that show, but maybe I need to give the show another shot. But I watched and I didn't even watch the whole episode
of Abbott. Did you see Abbott Elementary, John?
No,
You've never seen. I want to tell those of you who are listening, you got to go watch Abbott Elementary. It is. I saw it. Someone was talking about it, and they said, "Hey, you got to turn it on and watch." I'm thinking, like, I'm not gonna like this show. I turned it on, and the show had me in stitches. And it's about an elementary school and teachers, and I think she plays the principal in the show. But it is a phenomenal show. If you like laughing and you enjoy comedy, it is a great show. It's been receiving, great acclaim across the board in terms of what it's been able to bring. And I think it's just lighthearted in all of the deepness. And I know Mark is an attorney, and he likes the deeper cerebral things in life, as if pharmacy school and all of that other stuff was not enough for him. He wants deep and thought-provoking moments in his downtime.
Yeah.
But if you like to be lighthearted, go check out Abbott Elementary. But for what I was saying is that Shirley Ralph, she sang the National Black Anthem, which I thought was really cool. I knew she could sing. She is an actress and entertainer. Then we had Babyface. I think he sang America the Beautiful. Did you catch that, Mark?
Yes.
Okay. And then the other black brother, because we're going to give Chris Stapleton a black card. He is invited to the cookout, man. He came up with the national anthem, sounding like his voice is amazing. So I just was thinking about the influence and the impact of black voices and black culture and black music. I'm joking. Chris Stapleton is a white country singer, but he's got enough soul. He's got a little bit of Aretha.
He hit it, man.
Man, he killed it.
And I was sitting there after Babyface. I clapped.
Right.
Coincidentally, I saw Babyface up at Soaring Eagle a couple months ago. I don't know if you saw him when he toured. He came.
No, I
into
didn't.
it.
Yep, nope,
Oh, he was good. I've been a fan of his forever, and he did well. And then Stapleton got out there and said, "Oh no, I can't be prejudiced here." Yeah. Hey man, now let me get back to our show.
Yeah.
Did you watch The Wire?
Yes, I did.
Did you see the series that went into the schools?
Yes.
That to me was compelling. All right.
I mean, that was real life.
That's where I'm at.
That was real life.
That's where I'm at. I didn't get into Blackish. And here's the other thing. Here's the other part of me. I grew up with Robin Harris.
I'm going to ask you a question. Please make sure I ask him this question, Jonathan. Why did you not get into Blackish? That's the question I'm going to ask. But go ahead, continue.
Because it wasn't black. It wasn't real black. It was comedy for show black. And I'm probably too serious on that front.
Hey.
I live Blackish. I know what real Blackish is.
Mark, I want to put a pin in it right there because you have just opened up a whole nother can of worms. I loved Blackish. I want to see what you're eating.
Cool.
We're going to take a quick commercial break. We're going to be black. I want to know why you don't like Blackish. Stay tuned. We'll be back.
Homeowners, Bob Wilsey of SunTech Wind and Solar here in Standish. Are you looking for energy independence for your home? You should be. Michigan utilities are closing their remaining coal plants soon, resulting in more power outages. Home solar with battery backup not only provides power during the grid outage, it reduces your light bill every day the sun shines. Unlike a generator, it just sits there. I'd love to show you how it all works. Come visit us at 319 South Main Street in Standish or visit us at suntech-windsolar.com.
We're proud to make Pioneer Sugar for you and your family. Proud to be found in your kitchen, the heart of your home. And it doesn't really matter what you make with Pioneer Sugar, whether it's with our granulated white, light brown, or soft confectioners. It's the memories you'll make using it that will matter the most. Pioneer Sugar, pure and all natural, made from sugar beets grown right here. What could be sweeter than that?
Imagine this, winning big at Soaring Eagle. Get a taste of sweet rewards, up to $5,000 cash, every Friday in February from 7 to 11 p.m. for a chance to take home the chocolate bar, with prizes from $1,000 premium play all the way up to $5,000 cash. Don't miss sweet rewards, only at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. Your getaway, reimagined. Visit SoaringEagleCasino.com for complete rules and details.
Join Mark Patrick seminars and stop smoking now without cravings, irritability, weight gain, or your money back.
Totally changed my life.
It's amazing. I don't have any cravings. You want to quit, but have found it impossible? This is the thing for you. I have absolutely no craving. It's the darndest thing I have ever seen in my life.
It's not for entertainment. It's for results. Do it. It works. Period.
You've tried everything else. You need to come and try this.
Only $49.99 guaranteed, because don't just cut down, but stop smoking. In addition, lose all the weight, 100% guaranteed with Mark Patrick seminars. Let hypnosis destroy unwanted cravings and lose the weight. That's right. Seminar Saturday, March 4th at the Bay Valley Resort and Conference Center in Bay City. Weight loss seminar, 11 a.m. Stop smoking seminar, 2 p.m. Registration 30 minutes before seminar. Sign up at markpatrickseminars.com.
What's the most important part of a retirement plan?
Income is king because we all need income. And if you don't have an income plan, you don't have a retirement plan.
That's Kevin Ray, financial coach at Insight Folios. Kevin tells his listeners every week about the importance of income planning, minimizing taxes, and strategies to lead a worry-free retirement. Learn all about that and get your own complimentary financial review by calling 888-885-PLAN. That's 888-885-7526.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
Thank you for being with 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW in the premier kitchen and bath gallery showroom and design center studios.
This is Kareem, and we're sitting in for Art Lewis on the Art Lewis Show. I want to say great morning, Art, if you're listening. I want to apologize in advance because your show has been absolutely zany this morning. And for those of you who are normally listening and thought you were going to come in and hear Art, I certainly apologize. Art is an iconic figure on this radio station and has been a friend of mine for probably 20 some years. We've had a number of conversations and continue to do so off the radio, and we often get together on the radio. So Art, I hope you're taking some time to unwind, relax, and get some R&R. Before the break, we were with attorney Mark Dotson, and we were talking about Shirley Ralph singing the Black National Anthem. And we went into a story about Abbott Elementary, which led to a conversation talking about the movie Blackish. Blackish
The show.
Blackish. Blackish is a television show that really became more popular toward the last couple of years of its existence, with Diana Ross's daughter, Tracy Ellis Ross, and the comedian Anthony Anderson. The premise of the show is that they are both professional, graduated, educated Black individuals who are living in a white community, and they're raising their children in this white community, trying to help them to be Black kids, but living in white America. So Mark said you weren't feeling the story.
Oh, not at all, man. That was the Huxtables 2.0. That was we've been there. That was Jack and Jill 1.0. We know. I know that story. I know that story. Hey man, but hold on.
Go ahead. I want to go ahead.
Hey man, I grew up on Red Fox, Robin Harris, Chris Tucker in his prime, Martin Lawrence, Eddie Murphy. I grew up on some real hardcore comedians.
Absolutely. I'm waiting.
I know. I got real guys in a running group text that will send me something 5 or 6 times a day that will have me cracking up, and Laura will come in and say, "What you laughing at?" I said, "These dudes are clever and they funny as heck." I just never Kevin Hart. You think he's funny?
Well, not really. I mean,
right.
I'm not.
Okay, there you go.
Okay.
All right.
So is it Anthony Anderson that you don't find funny, or was it the premise of it?
Anthony's okay. If I'm gonna commit my time to watching something, I want to be entertained. That's all.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what was entertaining to me. And this gets kind of to the heart of it all. Growing up as a Black man, you'll understand this in a community. Well, I don't know if you can understand this part or not because you were from Flint Town. But growing up here, I grew up in Carlton, which was a predominantly white community at the time. And I went to a school that was predominantly white, being one of the only Black folks. So the balance for my family to make sure that I understood that I was a strong, Black, empowered, educated Black man, and then entering into a school which was predominantly white, and understanding that who I was may not necessarily have always been understood in certain spaces. And there were certain things that weren't understood in our space by the community at large in which we were living. That was the humor that I found in Blackish. All right. You know, they were raising kids who were losing parts of identity because they were with white culture. And so they were doing things that were kind of out of the quote unquote Black box of how we grow up and being exposed to things in a different manner. And it was just interesting to see those dynamics because I had walked in those spaces before. So that's what I found humorous.
Okay, man, I lived it. I lived it. I started off at elementary. I started off at elementary school that was 99.9% black.
Right.
The white folks got
I've
harassed.
never had that experience.
99.9% black. Then moved to a neighborhood that was 99.9% white and got harassed, got TP'd, got vandalized, all that stuff. And now, before I graduated from high school, and I think it was probably 5th grade that I moved into that neighborhood, Evergreen Estates. By the time I graduated from high school, it was just about all black.
Okay.
Junior high school, that was 80% maybe black. Flint Central, which was more like 40% black, or more of a, a kind of a clean divide, equal divide between the two. Went to Michigan pharmacy school, which you can figure out what the dynamics were there.
Right.
Practice pharmacy, and I can't tell you the number of times I worked for Meyer.
Wait a minute, Mark. When you were working in pharmacy, because I'm referring to you as an attorney, so our listeners are probably like, wait a minute, I thought he was an attorney. You are kind of a high performing individual. So you went to pharmacy school. How many black folks were in pharmacy school with you when you were there?
It was pretty decent. I had maybe 7 or 8 that
Out of how
graduated
many?
in my class.
Out of how many?
80, 90
Okay.
maybe.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, we were tight.
Okay.
We were really tight. Went to work for Meyer, and I can't tell you the number of times we used to have at that time Meyer had almost the life-size pictures of the pharmacists up above the pharmacy, had on the blue smock, the name tag, Mark Dotson, registered pharmacist, and I can't tell you the number of times I would go out there and talk to people and say, "Can I talk to a pharmacist?" They were just looking right through me. I've lived this life, man, and I wouldn't practice. I wouldn't practice with a firm in Milwaukee they had 2 black attorneys out of 200. I was one of them. I've been around that block. I know I know the face and the experience and the sting of racism. And as you know, I've lived. My mom was a math teacher, raised me along with my 2 brothers. For the most part, my dad wasn't involved in our life at all. I know that aspect, and she never complained, and she never denied us anything. And she was a hardcore gangster black woman.
Mark, I'm going to ask you a question that I know that our listeners are probably. Why does everything come to race with you people? And I'm laughing when I say that.
It doesn't. When somebody says that to me, right? I'm not. I dismiss that. Yeah. I just dismiss that. Why don't you ask me why I'm black? Why does everything come to? That's somebody that's just being dismissive for whatever reason, and somebody doesn't know me, because it can't always be about race for me, or I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing right now. If it was just about race for me, I never would have gone to pharmacy school, because I was told in high school you can't be a pharmacist. I was like, okay, cool. I wouldn't be teaching in law school now if it was all about race for me. I never would have worked at the firm that I worked at if it was all about race for me. Yeah. And my kids wouldn't be doing the things that they're doing if it wasn't all 4 of them remarkably successful. And I would not be married to the woman I'm married to if it was all about race.
We're gonna put a pin in it real quick. I'm going to come back to you, and I'll finish out on that conversation when we get back. Let's take a break.
Hi, Art Lewis here. After many years in several vehicles, I finally get to talk about my car dealer, McDonald Ford. Yes, as the name implies, they are a Ford dealer located on M47 in Freeland. But they are so much more than just a Ford dealer. For example, right now I'm driving a Chevy Silverado from McDonald's extensive fleet of pre-owned vehicles. You'll find Chevys, Cadillacs, Jeeps, Lincolns, even a Mercedes-Benz. All have been through McDonald Ford's extensive 100-point inspection. Also know that when you need service, be it minor or major, the McDonald Service Department is second to none. Couple that with their drive collision and quick lane center, and you now know why McDonald Ford is my dealer of choice. New or pre-owned, the McDonald staff treats you like family, because family is everything to the McDonald family. McDonald Ford, 6790 Midland Road in Freeland, devoted to helping and serving you.
Get your flooring project to the finish line with Menards. With thousands of flooring options and top brands like Tarkett, you'll find the perfect flooring to give your home a fresh, new look. Choose from our huge selection of Tarkett vinyl flooring that stands up to everyday life. Invitation laminate flooring is quick and easy to install. It's durable, stain, and fade resistant. On sale for $139 a square foot. Good through February 18th. Race to savings now at Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
Attention, per the current government mandate, U.S.-based insurers are now required to cover at-home COVID testing kits with no out-of-pocket fees to you. If you have a current insurance plan, you are eligible to receive up to 8 COVID-19 tests shipped to you each month absolutely free, as long as the government mandate is in effect. Just visit testkitforfree.com to register now from the comfort of your own home. That's testkitforfree.com to receive your tests shipped to you at no cost. Go to testkitforfree.com today. Paid for by T. Euro Health.
Democrats just want to win the next election, and they're trying to do it with ceaseless money printing. They do not care if the value of your retirement is sacrificed. Hi, Stephen K. Bannon. It is critical to protect your retirement right now with a gold IRA from Birch Gold Group. To learn more, get a free info kit on gold IRAs by texting the word safeguard to 989898. There's nothing to buy and no obligation at all. Text the word safeguard to 989898 to get a free info kit on gold.
Hi, this is Joe Cordell with the law firm Cordell & Cordell. Divorce can be complicated, especially if children are involved. If you're a father and want to protect your role in your children's lives, remember Cordell & Cordell. We've helped men with matters like these for 30 years, and we'd love to help you.
Contact Cordell & Cordell to schedule an appointment with one of our firm's Detroit area attorneys, a partner men can count on. Offices in Troy and Ann Arbor. Online at CordellCordell.com. That's CordellCordell.com.
Fabry left circle, Larkin scores! Beautiful passing. Fabry to Larkin, power play goal. It's 3-1 Detroit.
The Red Wings play 9:45 tonight on 790 News Radio WSGW.
This is Kareem, and we're sitting in for Art Lewis at the Art Lewis Show. I got with me Mark Dotson, and before the break, Mark, who has a very interesting and colorful life, was sharing, how
no pun.
Yeah, right. How he went from an all-black school to your experiences in undergrad or in high school, and then you went to Michigan. Pharmacy school, graduating from pharmacy school, one of 7 or 10 blacks in a group of 90 individuals. And I'm still confused how you made the decision to go from pharmacy school to say, hey, I haven't had enough challenges in my life and I just want to be great. So now I'm going to go into law school, become a degreed lawyer or an actual lawyer, pass the bar. You're now operating in law. I think initially you were working in corporate law.
Mm-hmm.
And now you are operating as a teacher, as a professor of law. But you were making the statement that if it were all about race for you, you wouldn't be doing the things that you were doing.
Oh man, I wish somebody would say that to me, because it wouldn't be a nice conversation. They wouldn't even try me like that. They wouldn't even try me like that. Look, because of, oh, by the way, that you mentioned George Floyd earlier. I don't
recall mentioning George Floyd, but go ahead.
Yeah, you did. When you're talking about something, and there was an incident that was.
Oh, we were talking about Rihanna and why she was not going to perform initially. And it wasn't George Floyd, it was Colin Kaepernick's protest.
No. I think it might have been the advertisement. It went to when we were on break. The guy was talking about a George Floyd situation. The guy in Saginaw that got arrested for protesting or something along that line.
Yeah.
It wasn't you. Anyway, we just visited Minnesota. We went to the George Floyd site, and I don't know if you know this, but all the businesses right around the area, the store particularly where he went into when he came out of, all those businesses are closed. So not only did the incident lead to his death, but it also led the gas station, the grocery store, the apartment buildings around the area, all closed.
Why do you think that is?
Because people were concerned about protests. Maybe I can speculate. because I don't know for sure, but I would imagine that they were concerned about protests, they were concerned about rioting, et cetera, and they just said, I'm out of here. I'm not doing it. But I'm only speculating on that front. But coming off that, I've had an opportunity to have several discussions, diversity, equity, inclusion, discussions with some of my colleagues at work, some of them white colleagues, and they're talking about, well, Mark, what do you think about the situation? They always want to look to the black guy for the black voice.
Well, who should they listen to? Who should they ask about the black voice if not the black guy?
It ain't always the black guy. It ain't always me. I don't know. I ain't the ubiquitous dude that can speak for all black people to the point where I can convey accurately the opinions of all black people. Go poll a bunch of black folks. Go talk to Kareem, talk to Ray, talk to Willie, talk to Mark, whoever you want to talk to, if you're serious about that. But don't think it out and don't put the responsibility on me. Anyway, what do you think, Mark? I said, well, look, y'all. I know some of y'all want to get this thing right. But if you think that white folks just started stepping on the necks of black people yesterday, then you've been living in a different world than I have. You can't make everything about race and survive. Otherwise, you will identify a whole bunch of stuff. What was the show, the movie? I See Dead People.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. If you want to see the boogeyman, you will find it. It can't always be about race. Or otherwise you would be complaining all the time. You would not be able to get through it all the time. You couldn't survive. It was always about race, because you could make it always about race. And if you do make it about that too often, you ain't gonna survive in this world the way it's constructed currently. Oh, I hope I answered that question.
No, yeah, you took us to a place that I didn't even know we needed to go for this morning. But I want to first of all thank you, Mark, for being here. And if people are interested in Cooley Law School, what should they do to get involved? I know this is a way left field, but I know
you want Dotson, DOTSONM at Cooley.edu is my email address. You know me, man. I'm really accessible. If they want to go through you, I'll hook up with you personally, and you do want to direct me. I'm all for talking with my people or talking about that. But the transition from pharmacy was because I got bored counting pills, and I did. I got bored, and I figured there was something else out here. I thought about med school. I thought about ophthalmology. I thought about dental school. I thought about business. Law school said you can come as you are. All those other ones said you got to take some additional courses or whatever else. And I said, no, it ain't that serious. I can do this. I can do this for the rest of my life. I can count pills for the rest of my life. But I want to see if there's something else out in me. Law school says you come as you are. I went to law school, and everything else is history.
What was that email again?
DOTSONM, Dotson, M for Mark, at Cooley, COOLEY.edu.
All right. Thank you once again, Mark. It's always a pleasure. Grace and peace to you. Tell Laura I said hello.
I will.
And for those of you who are listening, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll come back with our recap of the show and tell you what's to come next.
Thank you.
Throughout the growing season, you're tasked with making tough choices, starting with the seed, reading all that trial data. You even have your neighbors weigh in. And when you do plant that smart decision, how you'll protect it, well, that's an easy choice. The soybean herbicide portfolio from Corteva Agriscience. With products like Sonic Herbicide, you'll be complementing your Enlist system with the soybean residual protection that'll tackle the toughest weed challenges all season long. See how a program approach can help you protect every acre at Corteva.us.
Let's face it, credit cards are pretty much a necessity.
New tires for the car? Here's my card.
I order takeout? Here's my card. And most of us just accept the high interest rates credit cards charge as a necessary evil.
What are you going to do?
Get a low fixed-rate credit card consolidation loan from Lightstream from $5,000 to $100,000 and pay off those credit card balances. Apply online, and you could get your money as soon as the day you apply. The average credit card company charges over 19% APR. But with Lightstream, you can get a fixed rate as low as 7.99% APR with autopay and excellent credit.
Now I can pay off my high-interest credit cards and save money with a much lower rate.
Apply today at lightstream.com/radio and get an additional interest rate discount. That's lightstream.com/radio. Lightstream.com/radio.
Subject to credit approval. Rates range from 7.99% APR to 21.49% APR and include a 0.5% auto pay discount. Lowest rate requires excellent credit. Terms and conditions apply and offers are subject to change without notice. Visit lightstream.com/radio for more information.
You might get wireless data everywhere, but do you have to use it all the time? If that's not really you, there's TracFone. You can get the same nationwide 5G coverage as big carriers, but you pick a plan that you need for a lot less. Unlimited talk and text plans start at $15 a month, no contract. And now you can get the Samsung Galaxy A03s for just $49.99. TracFone. Now you're in control. While supplies last, 1 month equals 30 days. 5G capable device required. Actual availability, coverage, and speed may vary.
Hey, this is Kareem sitting in for Art Lewis on The Art Lewis Show. We certainly want to thank you for tuning in. Mark Dotson, attorney at law, with us talking about the Super Bowl game. It is Super Bowl post-game Monday, and hopefully you aren't overtagged with everything that's going on. Coming up next, we're going to have our State Representative 95th, Amos O'Neal. We'll talk with him shortly, and so stay tuned. We're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back.
From the Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery Studios, WSGW, Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, WSGW-FM, Carlton.
This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. Monday morning quarterbacking's at full throttle after the Chiefs beat the Eagles to win the Super Bowl. This fan in Kansas City says,
I was definitely scared, but Andy Reid, that fourth quarter, he played the clock perfect. Of course, Patrick Mahomes, he's a trooper. I mean, ankle bad and everything, and he's still coming back.
Correspondent Steve Futterman was at State Farm Stadium in Glendale, Arizona.
When it counted, when the Chiefs needed him, Patrick Mahomes was simply magical. In the fourth quarter, he threw for 2 touchdowns. He scrambled for 26 yards on the game-winning drive that led to the field goal that won the game.
Chiefs won it 38-35. Mahomes named Super Bowl MVP. Mystery objects have been popping up in the sky over and near the U.S. over the past few days. 3 have been shot down. The most recent yesterday over Lake Huron near the Canadian border. Former Canadian National Security Analyst Stephanie Carvin.
All the objects appear to be somewhat different. It's not clear why that is. Are they from the same source? And have we never really caught any of these before? Because frankly, we weren't looking.
The White House denies today's claim by Beijing the U.S. has been sending surveillance balloons over China. Rescuers in Turkey's southern Hatay province have just pulled a 13-year-old boy from the rubble of last week's earthquakes alive. It comes hours after a 4-year-old girl was rescued, but the good news has slowed to a near stop as the death toll climbs past 35,000. Samantha Power with the U.S. Agency for International Development tells CBS Mornings.
People need temporary housing. They need water and hygiene. They're not going to have their livelihoods, access to livelihoods anytime soon, so just basic food staples.
Prosecutors in New York City are expected to ask a jury to sentence a man to death today for speeding onto a bike path and killing 8 people, one way or the other. Legal expert Chris Geidner says
he cannot be sentenced to less than life in prison. If they do not unanimously decide in favor of the death penalty, he will be sentenced to life in prison.
If jurors do vote in favor, it would be New York's first death penalty in 60 years. The Biden administration's restocking supplies of a COVID vaccine. CBS's Alexander Tin.
Earlier this month, officials warned vaccinators that all current supplies of the Novavax COVID shots were due to expire this month, marking an effective end to the vaccine's availability here in the United States. Now the company says the Biden administration will buy up to 1.5 million more doses of Novavax, aiming to extend availability until COVID shots are due to go to the private market later this year.
And no, you were not seeing things during Super Bowl halftime. Her rep confirms Rihanna is pregnant with her second child. The Dow is up 126 points, S&P ahead 17. This is CBS News.
Liberty Bridge is your gateway to work, school, downtown, and the Midland Street Business District. Enjoy all the benefits of Liberty Bridge for free until April. Save time and fuel by taking the most convenient route to your destination. Avoid congestion at other local bridges and experience Bay City's newest, most reliable bridge. Brought to you by local union workers and Bay City Bridge Partners. For your passport to the lowest rates once tolling begins, get your BC Pass before April at BayCityBridgePartners.com.
RocketGrabPlus.com. Why would you pay full price when you know that you can save money at RocketGrabPlus.com? Check out all of our half-off deals going on right now from Applied Training Solutions, Daylight Outfitters, Super Cute, Salon Blue, the Bubble Tea Brew House, and Style Encore. All of these deals are half off. Head to RocketGrabPlus.com right now and snag your deal before they sell out. RocketGrabPlus.com.
I'll second guest dinners with friends because they can be interrupted by diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or oily stools. It turns out I have EPI, or exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, which means I'm missing the enzymes needed to digest food. My doctor prescribed Creon, pancrelipase, an oral prescription medication that replaces pancreatic digestive enzymes. Creon treats EPI due to cystic fibrosis, chronic pancreatitis, pancreatectomy, or other conditions.
Creon may increase your chance of fibrosing colonopathy, a rare bowel disorder. Tell your doctor if you have a history of intestinal blockage or scarring or thickening of your bowel wall, if you're allergic to pork, or if you have gout, kidney problems, or worsening of painful swollen joints. Call your doctor if you have any unusual or severe gastrointestinal symptoms or allergic reactions. Take Creon as directed by your doctor and always with food. Do not chew capsules, as this may cause mouth irritation. Other side effects may include blood sugar changes, gas, dizziness, sore throat, and cough. These are not all the side effects of Creon.
Creon is the #1 prescribed EPI treatment. Ask your doctor about Creon for EPI and visit creoninfo.com or call 800-633-9110 to learn more. That's CREON info.com.
Live from the 100.5 and 790 newsroom, this is WSGW News.
Sunny skies and 38 degrees at 10:05. Good morning, I'm Mike Percha. Another aerial object was shot down by U.S. fighter jets, this time over Lake Huron. Here's Michigan Congresswoman Debbie Dingell.
An object flying over Lake Huron was shot down by American military pilot because it was posed as a potential threat in commercial airspace. We don't yet know, again, what the object is, where it's coming from. Our military will be working hard to retrieve all of it and to find out what we can learn.
On Sunday, NORAD had detected a radar anomaly over Wisconsin, tracked the object's course, and eventually shot it down over Lake Huron. Federal government officials say it's probably the same object that caused a radar anomaly in Montana earlier in the weekend. A boater is missing after a boat capsized on the Tittabawassee River over the weekend. Thomas Township Fire Chief Michael Cousins says 26-year-old Nathan Robbins of Saginaw County was traveling down the river with a friend when their vessel capsized around 1:30 Sunday morning. The Saginaw County Sheriff's Department says when the 10 to 12 foot long aluminum boat stalled, Robbins attempted to get it running again, but his sweater became snared in a motor mechanism, and efforts to free himself caused the boat to capsize. His friend was able to swim to the shore and call for help. What started out as a rescue mission has now become a recovery operation. A Huron County woman is $1 million richer after winning on the Michigan Lottery's Big Spin Show. The show provides buyers of non-winning Big Spin tickets a chance to win again by entering those tickets' codes online, with participants selected to spin a wheel and get a guaranteed prize. Amy Kroll of Port Austin won the prize last week. She says she plans on buying a car, taking a vacation, and completing home renovations with her winnings. WSGW News Time, 10:07.
How is your child doing in school this year? Do you feel they are not performing as well as they could? Did you know that this could be due to visual performance? At Associates in Eye Care, they help you determine if your child's vision is not performing as well as it could. They don't just give your child glasses. They evaluate the entire visual and ocular system to detect, treat, and prevent visual disorders and ocular diseases. To make an appointment with Dr. Cox, Dr. Kazmarek, or Dr. Angle, call 792-8686. Associates in Eye Care, caring for our patients as we would want to be treated.
Your local Zematic dealer works hard to give you every advantage when it comes to your irrigation operations. This year, we're giving you a head start in preparing for the upcoming season by letting you choose between industry-leading interest rates and deep per-tower discounts on a new Zematic pivot. The earlier you act, the better your deal will be. Better deals, better equipment, better season. Better contact your local Zematic dealer today to learn more. Terms and conditions apply. See your local dealer or visit lindsay.com/spring sale for full details.
WSGW News Time, 10:08. The weather forecast is coming up. A Livonia school remains closed today due to a norovirus outbreak. Administrators at St. Michael's Catholic School say students in every grade have been sick, along with some teachers. The school has been closed since last Wednesday. Officials say the norovirus is contagious for at least 3 days after a person recovers from symptoms. Classrooms and other areas of the school are being sanitized and disinfected so students can return to the building tomorrow. A massive new electric vehicle battery plant appears to be heading to Calhoun County. Michigan News Network's Chris Kaiser has the report on that.
The nearly 2,000-acre megasite west of Marshall will likely be announced as the site of a joint venture between Ford and Contemporary Amperex Technology Company Limited, the largest EV battery producer in the world. The $3.5 billion factory would revitalize Marshall, bringing in 2,500 new jobs. Ford is expected to own the plant and directly employ workers, allowing the venture to qualify for incentives. Their Chinese partner will provide the tech and expertise. Ford will hold an event in Romulus Monday afternoon to make the announcement, according to Crane's Detroit Business. State officials have been working to bring EV battery manufacturing to Michigan after losing to Kentucky and Tennessee with Ford's $11.4 billion Blue Oval City project in 2021.
For those traveling through the Straits area, there is a welcome site. The Mackinac City Welcome Center is open. MDOT says the rest area reopened last week after extensive remodeling. The $400,000 project includes upgrades of the restrooms and windows. The project also brought the 65-year-old building up to standards under the Americans with Disabilities Act. WSGW News Time 1010. I'm Mike Percha.
Here's your WSGW weatherology forecast. Skies will become mostly sunny here for today with a high into the mid-40s. West winds at 5 to 15 miles per hour, gusting as high as 25. Tonight, mostly clear, low near 30. By Tuesday, increasing cloud cover, high 51 degrees. Wednesday, mostly cloudy and windy, high around 54. Thursday, we'll have a chance for rain and snow mixing at times. Cloudy skies, a high around 35. Then by Friday, partial sunshine develops, high around 26 degrees. Saturday, mostly sunny, we'll see high 42. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki with the WSGW weatherology forecast. Currently, it's 38.
Now, the only local radio talk show offering you the chance to ask your questions and express your opinions from around your block to around the world. The Art Lewis Show is on 100.5 and 790 WSGW and online, WSGW.com. The Art Lewis Show is presented by Westside Decorating Center.
This is Kareem once again, sitting in for Art Lewis on the Art Lewis Show. We have with us, coming into the studio via phone call, our State Representative Amos O'Neal. Mr. O'Neal, are you there?
Yes, sir. Good morning. How are you?
I am doing great this morning. So great. Now, I'm telling you, we are so confused. Jonathan and I were sitting here, we're like, okay, is it 95th still, or did redistricting change it to 94th? What exactly is your district number at this time?
District 94.
94.
94. Yes, sir.
Formerly the 95th, now the 94 under the new districts.
Yeah.
Okay, that were drawn. All right. Well, great to have you this morning, this post Super Bowl morning. We've been spending some time. So how did you spend last night? Share with us your thoughts on the Super Bowl.
Well, I'll be honest with you. I was rooting for Philly. I thought they had a stronger team, and with the Chiefs, quarterback being hurt, I thought that would probably have an impact, but obviously it didn't. Oh,
I'm not even going to say that sounds a little sinister, Representative O'Neal. Like, hey, he's down now. We got it.
No, it was a great game. I tell you, that was a really great game. And the Chiefs took over that second half and just didn't look back.
Well, I'm certainly glad to have you in the studio. Unfortunately, I am not the great Art Lewis. I am sitting in, and I'm thankful for the opportunity of my dear friend. But I do want to talk, the historic nature of yesterday's Super Bowl. This is Black History Month, and in this month, we highlight the accomplishments and the achievements of African Americans that they've made to this great nation. And before we talk about what you're doing moving forward, what did you think about the historic nature of two African American quarterbacks? A position that for a long time, Black men weren't allowed to play because they weren't thought to have the mental capacity. We have two Black quarterbacks going head to head for the Super Bowl championship. What were your thoughts about that?
Yeah, Kareem, that was a significant historical event, as you said, and really this says a lot to us as a country, and us, being a country of immigrants, if you will. Giving everybody an opportunity to shine, I think says a lot. And so, giving these two individuals, two African American quarterbacks, an opportunity to shine, and they're at the top of their game, at the highest pinnacle of their sport, at the Super Bowl. That says a lot. And so I think we can take from this an adage. Hey, everybody can have an opportunity. If everyone has an opportunity, the potential for them excelling are great. And so I hope we can take a lesson from this and just say, and let's give people an opportunity. That's one thing we're working on. For kids, example is an example of giving all kids an opportunity for path forward. Skill trades, technology, STEM. And you're really in a great space with STEM. Giving our kids an opportunity. A lot of kids, without some of these, programs like what you have working with Dow, getting these kids from the neighborhoods and exposing them to these technology opportunities, it's transformative. And so I can see some engineers, doctors, lawyers in your group, and just think about what's going on around the country and other programs. And so in my space as a legislator, I talk to my colleagues about, let's make an investment. For example, all communities aren't able to have villages and bonds, right? Particularly a lot of those communities in rural areas. So what do we do for those students? Okay, I say, well, let's create an opportunity where we can look at the industries that may be close or in that community and say, hey, okay, Mr. High School, based on the industry standards in your area, we can get certain equipment for you to have these kids to be exposed, And so that's the line item in our school aid that I'm looking at working to kind of get our colleagues to support that, to say, hey, let's give every student an opportunity.
You brought up something that was really interesting, and I'm sitting here. My producer, Jonathan, he's a farm guy. Out, not necessarily a farmer, but he's out in Standish, which is a strong farming community. And you were talking about access. Have you found in your conversations with your constituents that many of the issues that you're finding in communities of color are similar to the issues that you're finding in farming populations?
Great point. Yes, and yes. And I think we just haven't had that conversation in that context, because you think a lot of kids who may not have opportunities are from traditional urban areas. But I beg to differ. Your colleague and Standish and other rural areas, they still have those deficits in terms of exposure as well. So comprehensively, I say we got to give all students an opportunity to have that exposure.
You have a lot going on, and I know that this is your second term in office. And I'm excited. When I heard that you initially going out, my support was 100% behind you. Not because you are a black man. This is one of those times. I voted for President Obama because he was a black man. It was the first time we ever seen it happen.
Okay.
But I voted for you, Amos O'Neal, and I vote across the board because I know your work ethic. I see what you have done and how you impact our communities. But I'm going to tell you, I was really impressed with how I saw you at everything that took place, black, brown, red, other. You were out there supporting your constituents. Now, I know that you guys have a lot going on. The story is that there's a lot more money in Michigan's budget than we budgeted for. So let's talk about some of those. I know there's a lot going on with the EITC. I think that's Earned Income Tax Credit. Let's talk a little bit about that, because I know that our people want to find out. It's tax time. They want to find out how they can put a little bit more money in their pockets.
Right. That was really a historic event in terms of us getting that over the finish line from the House side. But, a lot of times people say, well, what are you doing for the average person? And when you look at the EITC, organizations like United Way, let's use that for example.
Okay.
I worked at United Way years ago. We really had a great program that dealt with EITC, where we did with community support and volunteers. We did free income tax, right?
Right.
And so based on that standard back then, there was a percentage that you could you could write off and get some funds back. I think it was like 6% at the time. And so folks were really lining up to get that credit. Why? Because they need those extra dollars in the household. And so now what we did through the House, we started back in, I think it was like 2019, about over 10,000 families in our district. And I looked at this, I'll just use our district for an example, but this is statewide. So in our district, Kareem, currently the average boost to that income back then was like $171. That was at 6% of the federal EITC. And then we as we move forward, we started at 20%. The governor's office was at 20%. The caucus was at 20%. The Senate was at 30%. But we had to work. We got to 30%. So we are at 30% right now, right, from the House.
Right.
So what does that do? An average boost of a working family in our district, in the 94th district, now with the EITC would be $857. Okay. Now that can go a long way, right?
I'll take it.
Okay. And then just think about the impact once family have that extra disposable quote unquote income, then what does that do for the economy? Most families that get extra money, they're spending it for their family. So, the projected income for our area was like 9.1 million. Unlike before, it was like 1.8 million back in 2019.
Let me ask this question because, and I know that inflation is a global issue. Where inflation is something that the entire world is dealing with. As we look at these reliefs, are there tax relief dollars that are being set aside for the purpose of trying to combat the issues that inflation have projected? Everything costs more. There is a shortage of certain things, which causes the prices to increase. We are finally getting back to where we're getting chips that are needed for products, refrigerator. Everything has a chip in it nowadays. But inflationary costs for individuals, I was talking with a mom who was saying, the price of buying milk and eggs and those staple things that we normally use are ridiculous. Are we finding that our government's able to provide some type of relief with creative legislation as it relates to tax relief?
Definitely. And that's really what this package was really about. When you think about pension tax, retirement tax, 401k tax, that's a nice chunk of change that comes out based on whatever portfolio you have. So for us to repeal that and say we're not going to tax it, that could be the difference of keeping your house, keeping your car, getting a car, getting a mortgage, right?
Right.
Or passing, we talk about generational wealth, or passing down those savings to your children.
Absolutely.
For example, right? And so I think this what we were able to do, and it was a bipartisan effort. It's monumental, to address I think a flawed tax structure, which we'll look at, revising that, as we move forward. But we wanted to get some resources into the hands of working families, retirees, folks who have worked their entire life and saved their money, and then not have the burden of being heavily taxed if they were to take out a loan or even just, dissolve it to do some major issues for the family.
Okay, we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to be right back after this break with more of State Representative Amos O'Neal.
You have a family doctor. Do you have a family plumber? When you have a plumbing, heating, or cooling problem happen in your home or business, you need to be able to call a professional that you can rely on and trust to make the repair or equipment replacement. Reamer Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning has been the professional homeowners and businesses' trust for 65 years. Whether you're looking for an emergency water heater replacement or planning a new heating system installation, you can trust Reamer Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning to provide quality service and installation. Reamer has the equipment to fit every budget, experienced estimators, and state licensed technicians to install. Trust a professional to do the job right. Call Reamer Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning. Visit them on the web at reamerplumbing.com.
Any way you spell it, Reamer means quality.
I'm starting to worry about all of this crime lately.
I was worried too, so I made sure I was prepared.
How'd you do that? I took my CPL class at Applied Training Solutions. They covered everything I needed to know to get my concealed pistol license. You can never be too safe.
Applied Training Solution is Michigan's premier training facility. We offer both live fire training and digital simulation training. Whether you're looking for your initial training or advanced training, see us at simurange.com or ATS Midland on Facebook.
At Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort, an evening with James Taylor.
Oh, I've seen fire, I've seen rain.
Friday night, June 23rd, part of the Soaring Eagle Summer Outdoor Concert Series.
How sweet it is to be loved by.
Tickets start at $36, on sale now at the Soaring Eagle box office and etix.com.
Oh, Mexico, you got a friend.
James Taylor, Under the Stars, June 23rd at Soaring Eagle Casino.
I'm Neil Cavuto, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Stocks open modestly lower. Wall Street is waiting for tomorrow's Consumer Price Index, the update on inflation for January. Restaurant chain Denny's, Arista Networks, Solar Edge Technologies, and Palantir Technologies announce earnings after the Wall Street close. Oracle and Google will handle the data center for Uber Technologies. The switch is a big contract over 7 years for the two tech companies. Ford says it will have a major announcement later today. Barron says it's likely a new battery plant to be built in Michigan. Novavax says the U.S. government will buy 1.5 million more doses of its COVID-19 vaccine. And Rocket Company's longtime CEO Jay Farner will retire after 27 years with the business. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Ginny Cosola, invested in you.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
What's for dinner? Burgers?
After last week, no thanks.
Avoiding foods due to fear of diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools? It may not be just stomach issues. It could be EPI, or exocrine pancreatic insufficiency. EPI can cause uncomfortable symptoms because it's a condition where the pancreas doesn't release enough digestive enzymes to break down food. But EPI can be managed. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor about your symptoms. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
On the next Markley Van Camp and Robin show, you know what we do, try to make sense of it all and have some fun at the same time. Emphasis on having fun. Then why do you yell so much? I don't know why.
Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins. Weekdays at noon on 100.5 and 790. News Radio WSGW.
This is Kareem Bowen sitting in for Art Lewis, and this is the Art Lewis Show. If you've been tuned in, you know that we have been with the 94th State Representative. We got the number right. Amos O'Neal. Amos, you're here. I want to share, I saw something. You are a guy who is building a social media platform. You're understanding the importance of communicating with your people in every single mode, and I think that's important. I've seen printed flyers. I've seen videos and things happening on social media platforms, and I think it takes all of that. You're doing something that I think is quite interesting, and your first date is coming up February the 24th. I want to talk a little bit about your coffee hours is what it's called, Coffee Hours with State Rep Amos O'Neal. Why don't you share a little bit about what that is and how people can be a part of what you're doing?
Yeah, thanks for that. That's a great question. With COVID, we had to go to the, Zooms and all those technology, on our internet systems. But as we, are hopefully coming on the outside of that, I said, well, to my staff, we have to really get in touch with the people. We should start having our first, in person. So I attended one of the associations, the Houghton Jones Neighborhood Association meeting, and, listened and shared, my ideas. And I said, well, hey guys, I would like to start the live community conversations, and I would love to start here. And they, the board, the members, and folks there, they were excited about it. And I said, what we'll do is we'll set a date forward, and we'll create some opportunities for folks to come, ask questions, talk, and highlight some specific areas of concern. And I can bring resources, information for them, and then talk about ways that we can kind of help mitigate that. So this will be a monthly activity. And also in the same month, we're having a community conversation on Facebook Live as well, talking about, how do we, transition folks who are returning citizens, with ID and appropriate documents so they can reintegrate back into society. So we have an expert person on the panel next, I think that's the 16th, I believe. That's coming up this week. And so, just trying to create ways, as you said, Kareem, to, support people where they are, to kind of help position them to be better than they are today for tomorrow, to get them back into the mainstream of life, if you will, and hopefully support their family. So, we're just trying to be very, very methodical about listening to the people. I think that's really important. We were at a Saginaw Chamber event the other day. Several of us, Senator Daley, Senator McDonald-Rivet, Matt Beerline, and myself, talking to a class of the Saginaw Chamber classes, and so we have a chance to talk. But one thing I emphasize, what was really important to me, is staying in touch with the people. We do a lot of things in Lansing, and a lot of times people, they really don't get it or understand it, so to speak, but they understand when you're meeting, their needs and their concerns, or you're listening to their needs and concerns, and you're responsive. And so, that's the important part of being an elected official. Listening is the key element of any role as you try to serve the public.
As I think about what you're doing with this coffee hours, I was at an event, and I think it would be cool for someone to do it down in the Detroit area, and it was pancakes and politics. So they met up. Yeah, so they met up. I think it was at a community center that we were at, and they had breakfast, and they talked about politics, and they talked about those things that the community needed to see. And they were able to give a real-time report card grade to their local officials on, the things that they, how they felt that they were progressing. So if you're looking, I think one of the great things to do would be pancakes and politics. I love seeing our elected officials in the community. I think it's so vitally important. One of the issues, and it's interesting because as we were talking in the earlier segments, I was sharing with my producer that I got a message from the school board about some programming that we're looking to do as it relates to STEM and education. What are some key things that you think are going to be necessary if we are really going to move into the space of creating a dynamic educational system? There's one thing to get a millage proposal or a bond proposal for new school buildings, but building world-class education. What are you looking to do, and what is it that you feel from a elected official position that you guys can do to better our educational systems?
That's a great question. We have a meeting with superintendents every month. Actually, I met with them at 8 o'clock this morning, all the superintendents in our region. And the purpose of that meeting is to listen to the experts. We talk a little bit about a lot of the proposals we introduced through the governor's budget. And this was really received very well. We had majority of the superintendents going around the room saying, thank you. This is one of the best budgets we've had for education. Wow. From Dr. Roberts to Bridgeport superintendent, Freeland superintendent, Dr. Collier. And that was refreshing because, we go there intently listening to say, what do we need to be aware of when we go back to Lansing to make our systems better? And I said this, we talk a lot and we spend a lot of money on economic development, which we want to do. But in the same breath, we have to talk about making sure the education conversation is in that conversation. So what's the first thing a family thinks about if they're thinking about relocating their families to a community?
Schools.
That's right, education. Okay, so you know, and when I ask that question, that's the first thing people say. So what that means for us, we got to make sure we are supporting our systems, making sure we're listening to some of the concerns. For example, evaluations, that's a big issue. We got some legislation on that. Third grade reading, that's a major issue. We got legislation in on that. We talked about that this morning. You know, how do we support, you know, if a district is looking to bond and do a new build? Right now, with the cost of construction the way it is, and the supply of equipment and all those supplies, you know, so you may start out at a $100 million bill like we have here on the river and on Niagara, but due to the delay and you know, the access to getting those parts and equipment, that price goes up.
Yeah.
So what's the remedy for that? There was legislation introduced last term, didn't get over the finish line. We talked about that this morning. It's called design build. It was a House bill, Senate bill 5638. What that bill does is looks at construction projects. We got a lot of support on this from a lot of business community and labor as well. Looks at a project, say Saginaw Public Schools. Okay, they started $100 million. So if there's a delay like we've been having in a lot of construction this past year, then that cost is fixed.
Wow.
Okay. Yeah, that's a big deal.
That is huge.
Okay, so that's something we're working on right now with the high school that's being built in future. Like Saginaw Township's going out for a bond, I believe, coming up soon in May.
Yeah,
so,
I hear that they're building. Is it a new Heritage High School?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and so I would imagine, especially with Saginaw Public, where they started putting a bond together, that the costs would have been probably a third more than what they initially budgeted for. So that is a really good thing that if we could do something. But if it's just shy of legislature, it would be good to see us get some more people on board for this types of projects. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back after this break. We're going to take final words with our state rep, and we're going to move forward. Thanks. Thank you very much.
A 401k can be an important asset for many Americans' retirements. You've made contributions to your 401k every single paycheck for years. Tune in Sundays at 8 a.m. on WSGW for your Financial Empower Hour with Jason and Carl Kreiderman from Great Lakes Investment in Midland. They will give you information like how your 401k's tax advantages and portability may enable workers to build sizable and important nest eggs. But its flexibility can also be costly if you aren't aware of potential mistakes. Great Lakes Investment Advisors have a guide that will teach you how to avoid an IRS early distribution penalty and full taxation on rollovers, the little-known weapon you can use, your most mistake-proof option, and more. Request your guide today at 989-835-7203 or visit GreatLakesInvestmentAdvisors.com. This commercial shall in no way be construed as solicitation to sell securities or advisory services of any state other than Michigan or where otherwise permitted. Topics should be discussed with your individual advisor prior to implementation. Advisory services offered through Great Lakes Investment Advisors, a registered investment advisor in the state of Michigan. Superior Insurance Group, Next Door Trader, and MDL Companies bring to you the second annual Rat Pack Gala. We invite you Saturday, February 18th to get your tux and petticoats out for the classiest event of the year. Step back in time with the Summit Tribute Group, Deke's Paradise Casino, a 17-piece orchestra, and the Rat Pack. Enjoy an evening out with dinner, casino, and a show. This formal fundraiser will be one to remember. Entire ticket proceeds to benefit Leaders for America that focus on strengthening the leadership culture across the nation. Leaders for America will be investing in the young people in Bay County, creating a culture of personal and community growth. Dance the night away with Marilyn Monroe to the sounds of Sinatra, Martin, and Davis. Cash bar, casino, and dinner from 6 p.m. till 8 p.m., followed by the big show from 8 p.m. till 10:30 p.m. Join us Saturday, February 18th for good food, great entertainment, and most important, a good cause. Visit the ratpackgala.live for your tickets today.
RocketGrabPlus.com. This week's deal on RocketGrabPlus.com is for the Bearded Axe in Saginaw. You are going to get half off of a 1-hour session of axe throwing for a group of 4. It's $40. They offer hourly times for axe throwing, ninja stars, and tomahawks. Bearded Axe is a local veteran-owned business. They're located at 4375 Bay Road in Saginaw. Head to RocketGrabPlus.com right now to snag your deal.
RocketGrabPlus.com.
Let's face it, credit cards are pretty much a necessity.
New tires for the car? Here's my card.
I order takeout. Here's my card. And most of us just accept the high interest rates credit cards charge as a necessary evil.
What are you going to do?
Get a low fixed rate credit card consolidation loan from Lightstream from $5,000 to $100,000 and pay off those credit card balances. Apply online and you could get your money as soon as the day you apply. The average credit card company charges over 19% APR. But with Lightstream, you can get a fixed rate as low as 7.99% APR with autopay and excellent credit.
Now I can pay off my high-interest credit cards and save money with a much lower rate.
Apply today at lightstream.com/radio and get an additional interest rate discount. That's lightstream.com/radio. Lightstream.com/radio.
Subject to credit approval. Rates range from 7.99% APR to 21.49% APR and include a 0.5% autopay discount. Lowest rate requires excellent credit. Terms and conditions apply and offers are subject to change without notice. Visit lightstream.com/radio for more information.
It can be dangerously easy to steal your identity during tax season because so much sensitive info is all together.
Before we start the annual meeting of Sean's personal info, has anyone seen Social Security number?
Not me.
Nope. Oh no, he's been stolen.
LifeLock by Norton makes it easy to help protect yourself. If you become a victim, we'll work to fix it. No one can monitor all transactions, but you can save up to 25% off your first year with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com. Identity theft protection starts here.
The greatest threat to our future is our national debt.
Social Security and Medicare is off the books now, right?
We got unanimity.
News coverage.
A balloon over U.S. airspace.
I order the Pentagon to shoot it down.
Not believing much from President Biden.
News coverage.
The horrible earthquake in Turkey. Has Joe Biden ever called Twitter to take down?
I don't know the answer to that question.
Dozens of whistleblowers, FBI agents coming to us.
Wasting taxpayer dollars on a fishing expedition.
News coverage on WSGW. You are with WSGW in the premier kitchen and bath gallery showroom and design center studios.
Good morning. This is Kareem filling in for Art Lewis on the Art Lewis Show. We have with us State Representative of the 94th District, Amos O'Neal. Representative O'Neal, I got a couple of things that I want to get your response to before we let you go here. The first thing, and this one just popped out when we were coming back from commercial break. I was listening to the governor's State of the State address, and one of the key issues that was being addressed was gun violence. And I know that Art Lewis and I have had this conversation for so many years. We've seen a lot of movement in our communities as it relates to our anger that's often implored when we see police officers do things to young Black or brown, kids in the community. But it seems in many cases that had not been addressed as it relates to what happens when we have violence within our community. And we know that we did some things with students and standing up for violence, but that was a central theme that we heard coming from the governor's State of the State address. Would you care to inflect your thoughts as it relates to school safety, community safety, and the issue of gun violence in our communities?
That's a very, very important topic. That also was discussed with our superintendents this morning as well. And, they really appreciated and commended us as legislators for adding more support for school safety in the budget for them to use at their discretion. I think that's very, very important. Also, when you look at, just the climate we're living in, as you said, with law enforcement and guns, you and I both support law enforcement 100%, hands down. But also we have to hold, everybody accountable. There are bad apples in every bunch. What that means is there are bad players in every industry, you name it. There are some bad players. There are some bad players in law enforcement, and I think many. I when this happened, I reached out to the president of POEM, Dan Coons. He's the president of the Police Officers Association of Michigan. I said, hey Dan, just want to touch base with you. I'm going to have to make some statements. I just want to say, where are you? He shared his attitude and concern about what happened. I talked to Chief Reggie Williams, University Township Chief of Police. I say, Reggie Williams, where are you? He was totally visibly upset and just, had a disdain about what happened. And other leaders throughout the community where they were interviewed. So long story short, I think we all can understand when wrong is wrong and right is right. All right. When wrong is wrong, we really have to address it. Doesn't matter what industry it is. It happens to be the law enforcement this time and moment, and we got to deal with the crime in general, crime and violence in our community beyond law enforcement. Crime upon ourselves.
Absolutely.
That's a big lift, and we really need to have some extended conversations, Kareem, and your voice and others about how do we create a mechanism to address these really important issues. There's no one shot fits all. It's complex, it's comprehensive, but we need to address it. I'm a gun owner. I love my guns.
Yeah, you're not taking my guns. We say that we have that in common. We both love guns, right?
And when people say, well, Democrats, they're going to take our guns. No, I'm a Democrat. I love to hunt. I love to fish. I own several weapons myself, and I'm a Second Amendment guy. But there are some reasonable expectations you got to have. Oh, here's a good one. It broke my heart. So I have four vehicles. I take my car to Wilson Ford on Bay Road, and there's a gentleman there. His name is Dave. He's been there for years. And you need a ride home, Dave. He does other things there, but he transports customers home. I've been knowing Dave for probably 20 years. I've been doing business with him that long. Dave told me a story, and he came to me. I was sitting in the lobby. He had a grandson. He purchased a gun at 21, and no one knew about it. He had an accident. He tripped. Gun went off. He's dead. I went to the service Saturday. I went to Mount Morris. He told me about it. I was heartbroken. And he said, Rep. O'Neal, can you see about legislation that will create an opportunity for those first-time, young youth gun owners to go to a class? He said, when you drive a car, you just can't get in and drive a car without going to driver's training. I said, Dave, I will be glad to do that. Long story short, he loves his gun. I love my guns, but that was a tragic accident.
Wow.
This kid was 21 years old, Kareem. This was just yesterday. I went to the funeral. Okay. So it's raw in terms of, that's one of many examples, but that was very personal because I knew this young man, great guy, a grandfather. He was devastated. Devastated. Wow. So when they say common sense gun laws, that's what we mean. Common sense.
Wow.
Okay. So, I wasn't going to share that story, but that is an amazing
story, and I'm at a loss for words. And I thank you for sharing that story. And I certainly thank you for your time and your attention. We certainly thank you for carving this time out so that we could have this conversation. We're going to let you go now. We're going to take a quick commercial break, but we're going to say you have an amazing rest of your day.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
All right.
Hey, hey guys, hey, come check out our store. Ooh, watch this fancy footwork. Woo! Hey, come check out our store. It's really cool.
Hey, let's just say there's a better way to get noticed. Brothers Designs is your one-stop destination for all of your graphic design needs. Business logos, signage, vehicle wraps, posters, business cards, uniforms and apparel, and more. If you want to turn heads and increase business, let's talk. Online at brothersdesignsmi.com. Brothers Designs, get noticed.
It could be the best years of your life. In retirement, you'll finally get to do what you want to do. But you have to plan for it. Start by tuning into Mindy and Nolan McIntosh of McIntosh & Associates every Sunday at noon for Wealth Michigan with the McIntoshes. Make retirement the best time of your life. Tune in Sundays at noon for Wealth Michigan with the McIntoshes. Firm offers insurance services. Investment advisory services offered only by duly registered individuals through AE Wealth Management, LLC.
I thought learning a language would be too much work, but Babbel makes learning fun. J'aime Babette.
Babbel's lessons only take 10 or 15 minutes, and soon you turn and realize, hey, I'm starting to speak another language. How'd that happen?
Babbel isn't robots talking. You learn words and phrases from real native speakers. I was ready for real-life conversations in just a few weeks. So easy.
Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
I'm Rocky Moselle with StarRegistry.com. Since we were children, we've been told to reach for the stars. It was great advice. Now it's a great gift. Name a star after someone. For $54 and a call to 800-282-3333 or visit StarRegistry.com, we will name a star after someone very special to you and send an incredible personalized gift. The new Star name will be recorded in book form in the U.S. Copyright Office. Call the Star Registry, 800-282-3333, or visit starregistry.com for the hottest gift.
I'll second guest dinners with friends because they can be interrupted by diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or oily stools. It turns out I have EPI, or exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, which means I'm missing the enzymes needed to digest food. My doctor prescribed Creon, pancrelipase, an oral prescription medication that replaces pancreatic digestive enzymes. Creon treats EPI due to cystic fibrosis, chronic pancreatitis, pancreatectomy, or other conditions.
Creon may increase your chance of fibrosing colonopathy, a rare bowel disorder. Tell your doctor if you have a history of intestinal blockage or scarring or thickening of your bowel wall, if you're allergic to pork, or if you have gout, kidney problems, or worsening of painful swollen joints. Call your doctor if you have any unusual or severe gastrointestinal symptoms or allergic reactions. Take Creon as directed by your doctor and always with food. Do not chew capsules, as this may cause mouth irritation. Other side effects may include blood sugar changes, gas, dizziness, sore throat, and cough. These are not all the side effects of Creon.
Creon is the #1 prescribed EPI treatment. Ask your doctor about Creon for EPI and visit creoninfo.com or call 800-633-9110 to learn more. That's CREONinfo.com.
Moments like hearing my cat purr good morning mean a lot to me. But after being diagnosed with metastatic breast cancer, or MBC, which is breast cancer that is spread to other parts of the body, they mean even more. I take Ibrance, palbociclib. Ibrance 125 milligram tablets with an aromatase inhibitor is for adults with HR-positive, HER2-negative MBC as the first hormonal-based therapy. Ask your doctor about Ibrance and visit Ibrance.com. Ibrance may cause low white blood cell counts that may lead to serious infections. Ibrance may cause severe inflammation of the lungs. Both of these can lead to death. Tell your doctor right away if you have new or worsening symptoms, including trouble breathing, shortness of breath, cough, or chest pain. Before taking Ibrance, tell your doctor if you have fever, chills, or other signs of infection, liver or kidney problems, are or plan to become pregnant, or are breastfeeding. Common side effects include low red blood cell and low platelet counts, infections, tiredness, nausea, sore mouth, abnormalities in liver blood tests, diarrhea, hair thinning or loss, vomiting, rash, and loss of appetite.
This is Kareem Bowen sitting in for Art Lewis on the Art Lewis Show. For those of you who are watching in our social media land, on our social media platforms, you'll see I had to put my stunner shades on because last night Rihanna shined bright like a diamond. I just wanted to say great job. There is a question, and I'm curious as to your thoughts, John. Yesterday we were, there's been a lot of speculation. Would Rihanna be up to the task of performing at Super Bowl halftime? There was Stephen A. Smith, who is one of the great commentators in the game of basketball, football, whatever. I think he's on First and 10 or First Take on ESPN. And he said that he was not impressed with the fact that Rihanna would be performing at halftime. He thought she would be boring. Now, for those that you are listening, I'm really curious as to what your thoughts were. She came out, and I think for anybody who's over the age of 40, you're probably like, who is this young woman? She's gorgeous, but why is she, 30 meters in the air, gyrating on a platform? Looks like she could give birth within the next 2 to 3 months. But she came out. She performed all of her hits. If you know Rihanna, then you understand her music. She put on what I would think would be a decent show for a woman who is quite visibly pregnant. But John, what do you think? And I know you didn't watch the show, but how do you feel? I'm wondering how America feels about seeing a pregnant woman do death-defying stunts as she's pregnant during Super Bowl halftime.
Well, you know how cynical I am. Just as a person, I guarantee that they made sure several contingencies that she would be absolutely safe doing what she was doing. And I did see like a few still shots of the show, and I'm like, oh, she's up there. She's pregnant and she's up there.
She's way up there.
Yeah, but I'm sure that they had wires and nets and all sorts of things in place to make sure that it was absolutely safe. And of course, here's the cynicism coming in, not even necessarily for her safety, although that plays into it, but the insurance cost. Can you imagine?
I can't imagine what that would look like. But one of the, people have been saying, hey, great job, Rihanna pregnant and all. Well, what I thought was interesting, that they understood that she was pregnant. They went through, said, hey, we don't care you're pregnant. We want you to come back. I talked about how she had stood up with Colin Kaepernick. She would not perform They offered the invitation. One of those is because Jay-Z is the musical coordinator. He was the one who I think brought Rihanna to the stage. But it was interesting that seeing a pregnant woman perform in spaces that we've had the infamous Janet Jackson, the Beyoncés, and probably, you know, things like Bruno Mars when he came with Beyonce. I thought those were iconic moments. I think Rihanna's voice was beautiful. I think she did an excellent job with her music. I was just wondering if women across America were having issues, or is this moment, I am woman, hear me roar? I'm bringing all of me, my pregnant moments and everything else to the stage. You know, and this is what we as women in entertainment have to deal with. Why should it be problematic to the fact that we're bringing this portion of us to the stage? Nonetheless, either way, are you pulling things? What, go ahead.
Well, I was just pulling up images to make sure, because I think I was right in this thought. And yeah, I much prefer this kind of, she's up there, she's singing, she is showing off her talent.
Absolutely.
Not her body.
Well, there you go.
That's the promiscuity and the scanty clothing and stuff. No, it's tasteful dress.
And I get you. And you know, and that's what I liked, because I like the fact that not only and this is, here we are, men, passing our thoughts, our judgment on women's body. Like, we actually have a real perspective that should be listened to. But I do appreciate the fact that for the first time, you know, we didn't see gyrations and have to see things that I think were inappropriate for young people doing a halftime show. It was interesting to see, and I was proud to see that she's a beauty mogul. For those of you who don't know who Rihanna is, she is a self-made billionaire. She has a cosmetic line called Fenty Cosmetics, in partnership with a French company, and her company is worth $1.7 billion. So I guess there is some branding there that's important to take care of. She hasn't done music in 5 years. There was a little nod to Fenty Cosmetics when she touched up her makeup, which I thought was very creative. But it was good to see her as a pregnant woman, pregnant or not, fully clothed, letting her talent speak to her as she ascended high above the crowd. I was just curious about that. But I do want to ask you this question, John. I don't know if you got a new boo in your life or what's going on, but tomorrow is Valentine's Day. To all of those men who are like myself and wait to the last minute, John, is Valentine's Day a thing for you, or is it just another Hallmark holiday?
Just another Hallmark holiday.
There's no significance, no flowers, no candy, no.
I'll take the candy.
Notice that John says that he's going to take the candy. Well,
discount candy day the day after.
The day after, he's going to load up on candy. Well, for those of you who are out there, tomorrow is Valentine's Day, and I'm really excited to see what happens, because women are always celebrated on this holiday, and I think that, you know, they put out a top 10 gifts to give men for this holiday. Which I think I'm going to put on my social media platform so that some women can get the clue that Valentines are both ways. When we were kids, the girl bought the guy, the boy bought the girl one, and the girl would bring one to the guy. So it works both ways, people. But tomorrow's Valentine's Day. We'll be making calls to the florists for moms and loved ones and significant others. I learned something new just the other day, that most gifts bought for Valentine's Day are not for significant others, but for pets and for other members of the family. It's interesting. Let's take a quick break. We'll be back with the closeout of the Art Lewis Show.
Homeowners, Bob Wilsey of Suntech Wind and Solar here in Standish. Are you looking for energy independence for your home? You should be. Michigan utilities are closing their remaining coal plants soon, resulting in more power outages. Home solar with battery backup not only provides power during the grid outage, it reduces your light bill every day the sun shines. Unlike a generator, it just sits there. I'd love to show you how it all works. Come visit us at 319 South Main Street in Standish, or visit us at suntech-windsolar.com.
Guys, are you getting up multiple times a night to use the bathroom? As we get older, so do our prostates, and that can mean urinary problems that affect our sleep and quality of life. Life is better outside the bathroom. Real Health's Prostate Complete can help you relieve those annoying and painful prostate symptoms. Available at Walmart or visit realhealth.com for more information and to order yours today. Try it risk-free with our 120-day money-back guarantee. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, or cure any disease.
Mark Patrick Seminars is coming to Bay City Saturday, March 4th for one day only. Here we talk about how hypnosis works to help people lose weight or stop smoking.
We all have an image of ourselves. And that image, if we have an image of a non-smoker, we attract non-smoker behaviors and beliefs. So we have an image of a smoker, we attract the habits of a smoker. If we have the image of a person who is overweight, we live up to those expectations. So one of the things we focus on with our programs is this. We work on, at the subconscious level, the image or snapshot of yourself. If you have a healthy image, you attract healthy habits. We work on, under hypnosis, taking the pleasure association out for smokers that they have towards smoking, putting back in what they already know consciously, that it's a filthy, disgusting habit that they never wish they start in the first place, that's killing them dead. And we get them out of these sessions feeling good about themselves, and guess what? They want to do these things instead of feel like they have to do them.
Don't miss Mark Patrick Seminars Saturday, March 4th at Bay Valley Resort and Conference Center. For more information, go to markpatrickseminars.com.
This is Kareem, and it was a pleasure sitting in for Art Lewis on the Art Lewis Show. Jeanette Brown-Wicker out there in social media land said, nope, Valentine's Day is for women only. So hopefully you've done that and you've gotten your significant other that gift or flowers or candy or whatever it is. We certainly thank you for your time and attention. John, it's been a great pleasure sitting in with you on today. And coming up next is the Focus program. Stay tuned.
From the Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery Studios, WSGW, Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, WSGW FM, Carlton.
This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Steve Kafin. An unidentified object over Lake Huron downed yesterday, the latest in a string of takedowns by the U.S. military, 4 in 8 days. It all began with the Chinese spy balloon. Pentagon correspondent David Martin on what's been learned.
They're all much smaller, and they don't have any visible means of propulsion. The spy balloon had its own power source with this giant array of solar panels, and it was equipped with propellers and a rudder.
Robert Spalding is a retired Air Force brigadier general and one-time National Security Council strategy director.
The radar systems are typically tuned so that you don't get false alarms. Well, when the Chinese flew this giant surveillance balloon over the entirety of the United States, they started to turn off some of those settings. And now all of a sudden we're starting to see these things that have maybe been drifting over for quite some time.
Overseas into a second week now in the earthquake zone. And today, a 4-year-old girl was found alive in southern Turkey. The aid effort for survivors is kicking into high gear. Samantha Power, the administrator of the U.S. Agency for International Development, was on CBS Mornings.
People need temporary housing. They need water and hygiene, just basic food staples. This is just our initial response, and we really need both private citizens, businesses, and other countries to step up.
Well, the Chiefs beat the Eagles 38-35 to take Super Bowl 57. Quarterback Patrick Mahomes named the game's MVP. Kansas City fans admired the team's comeback.
We fought adversity. They thought we was going to give up. You know Mahomes going to come in the clutch every time. He showed adversity every single game. Patrick Mahomes, 1-5.
On CBS Mornings, Chiefs linebacker Nick Bolton told about his fumble return for a TD.
I just kind of saw the ball come off his leg. He kind of kicked it. And I just ran after, man. I got a good bounce, man. And after that, it's just kind of like middle school. I just pick it up, trying to score as quick as you can. I got a good block from my guy, Mike. And, man, I was just into the end zone after that.
A parade and rally is set for Wednesday in Kansas City. Schools will be closed so kids can take it all in. A new study of children with mental health emergencies finds not enough for getting the care they need. CBS's Vicki Barker.
The study in the journal Pediatrics followed some 28,000 children and teenagers on Medicaid who had at least one trip to the emergency department for mental health issues in one 18-month period. Fewer than a third had a follow-up outpatient mental health visit within 7 days. Only about 55% had a follow-up within 30 days. Without follow-up care, a kid in crisis is unlikely to improve, far more likely to end up back in the ER.
Liberty Bridge is your gateway to work, school, downtown. and the Midland Street Business District. Enjoy all the benefits of Liberty Bridge for free until April. Save time and fuel by taking the most convenient route to your destination. Avoid congestion at other local bridges and experience Bay City's newest, most reliable bridge. Brought to you by local union workers and Bay City Bridge Partners. For your passport to the lowest rates once tolling begins, get your BC Pass before April at BayCityBridgePartners.com.
RocketGrabPlus.com. This week's deal on RocketGrabPlus.com is for the Bearded Axe in Saginaw. You are going to get half off of a 1-hour session of axe throwing for a group of 4. It's $40. They offer hourly times for axe throwing, ninja stars, and tomahawks. Bearded Axe is a local veteran-owned business. They're located at 4375 Bay Road in Saginaw. Head to RocketGrabPlus.com right now to snag your deal.
RocketGrabPlus.com. Moments like hearing my cat purr good morning mean a lot to me. But after being diagnosed with metastatic breast cancer, or MBC, which is breast cancer that is spread to other parts of the body, they mean even more. I take Ibrance, palbociclib. Ibrance 125 milligram tablets with an aromatase inhibitor is for adults with HR-positive, HER2-negative MBC as the first hormonal-based therapy. Ask your doctor about Ibrance and visit Ibrance.com. Ibrance may cause low white blood cell counts that may lead to serious infections. Ibrance may cause severe inflammation of the lungs. Both of these can lead to death. Tell your doctor right away if you have new or worsening symptoms, including trouble breathing, shortness of breath, cough, or chest pain. Before taking Ibrance, tell your doctor if you have fever, chills, or other signs of infection, liver or kidney problems, are or plan to become pregnant, or are breastfeeding. Common side effects include low red blood cell and low platelet counts, infections, tiredness, nausea, sore mouth, abnormalities in liver blood tests, diarrhea, hair thinning or loss, vomiting, rash, and loss of appetite.
Live from the 100.5 and 790 newsroom, this is WSGW News.
Sunny skies and 40 degrees at 11:05. Good morning, I'm Mike Burchuk. Rescuers who have searched for a missing Saginaw County man on the Tittabawassee River have turned the mission into an in-depth recovery. On Sunday, 26-year-old Nathan Robbins and a 23-year-old friend were in a small boat heading for Cody's Landing around 1:30 a.m. to meet their girlfriends. Police say the boat stalled south of the Gratiot Road Bridge. Robbins attempted to get the boat moving again, though police say his actions caused the boat to capsize. His sweater had become untangled in the motor. While the friend was able to swim to shore and call for help, Robbins did not. Multiple agencies have assisted in the effort, including the Saginaw County Sheriff's Department and dive team, Thomas Township Police, several fire departments, and the U.S. Coast Guard. The Curry Parkway Bridge in Midland is undergoing extensive repairs starting today. Crews will begin work on a project to replace structural steel members and the concrete deck, as well as reconstruct the street from the bridge to Gulfside Drive. The bridge, which spans the Tittabawassee River, was closed in October 2021 due to damage from oversized vehicles. According to the City of Midland, construction is expected to be finished by the end of May. After that, the bridge will be open to eastbound traffic only. My Michigan Hospice is accepting volunteers in the Alma, Clare, Gladwin, Harrison, Midland, and Montcalm areas, as well as for Woodland Hospice House in Mount Pleasant. Hospice volunteers are an integral part of the hospice care team. Volunteers provide physical and emotional support during an important and stressful time in the lives of patients and their families. Volunteer training sessions will be held March 17th and March 24th from 8:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. at Woodland Hospice House at 2597 South Meridian Road in Mount Pleasant. Volunteer trainees must attend both sessions. Anyone interested in becoming a volunteer can apply at mymichigan.org/volunteers/hospice. WSGW News Time, 11:07.
This season, get medieval on Rhizoctonia with the powerful protection of Excalia fungicide from Valent USA. Here to shield your sugar beets from the treachery of Rhizoctonia, Excalia delivers excellent staying power, keeping your sugar beets from being conquered. Stay one step ahead of Rhizoctonia with the powerful